We just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hello everybody and welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I am not Rob. You probably noticed that quite quickly. My name is Ethan Carpenter. I am relatively newer to the reviewing part of YouTube, but I've been on YouTube for a little while. I did a review on my channel, which I'm not going to plug just yet. I'll save that to the end of the video to do a little bit more of an introduction. But I did a review and Rob seemed to like it, and so did a couple other people. So he asked if I would be interested in doing videos, which of course I said yes. So I'm going to stop talking right now about myself, and we're going to review a movie called VHS. So VHS is a found footage film that was made in 2012. Now, a lot of people I know, when you say found footage, they're immediately going to be turned off. And with good reason at times. Most found footage movies, at least nowadays, have been kind of fallen flat. Paranormal Activity is the big one. And another big one that came out recently was As Above, So Below, which I've also seen and was a great movie. I might do a review on that one later. But what makes VHS different than other found footage movies is that it's an anthology. You have the main narrative following some people that are breaking into a house to try and find a VHS tape. And that is one of the 6 different stories in the movie. That one's just the main one that you keep cutting back to. With each story, it progressively gets creepier and creepier, and it's all found footage, which makes it interesting to me. We're going to start off with the main narrative. It's called Tape 56, and like I said, it's following a group of thugs breaking into somebody's house to find this VHS tape that they were asked to look for a lot of money. Now, this part is actually the weakest part of the story, oddly enough. It's the main narrative, and it's not entertaining. None of the characters are likable. Outside of a couple of action scenes and a couple of jump scares, it's really not that interesting, and it's only there to kind of break up each story. So once they break in, they have this guy start looking at some of the VHS tapes in one of the rooms. And the first tape that he finds is going to be called Amateur Night. And Amateur Night is following a group of guys trying to get laid. You can't have horror movies without it nowadays. So it's following a group of people who, one of them has a camera on him that has a hidden camera on it. And some weird things start happening after they meet a couple of girls at a bar, and they take them to a hotel, and it's interesting, and it's one of the, once it gets going, it's one of the highlights of the film. I'm not going to spoil anything because it's actually a decent twist, and but Amateur Night is one of the higher-ups of the movie. So after Amateur Night is over, it goes back to Tape 56, which is the same boring stuff, guys ransacking the house, little creepiness. And then we go back to another tape, which is called Second Honeymoon. Second Honeymoon is actually one of the higher highlights of the point. You actually like the character, you like the characters, you like to see what they're doing. It has an interesting twist, and it actually has a couple of really, really creepy parts in it. As an example, I'll tell you one. Since it's all found footage, they're doing it with a camera, the hidden camera, or the VHS camera in Tape 56. In this one, it's a camcorder, and in the middle of the night while they're sleeping, the camera turns on, and they're both in bed. So it shows that somebody broke in. It's done really well. It was creepy. I found myself really creeped out about it, especially when it gets to some of the gorier parts. That goes for the rest of the film. The film loves gore, and it loves nudity, just like every modern-day horror film. So once that story ends on a high note, we go back to Tape 56. Still as boring as ever. Outside of an action scene that happens within that segment, it's same stuff. So once we go back into the stories, it starts off with a Friday the 13th ripoff, quite literally even ripping off the name. This segment of the movie is called Tuesday the 17th, and it follows, think of Friday the 13th, but found footage. I'm pretty sure that was an idea that they're having in Hollywood right now, which would be interesting to see, actually, if they did it right. But this one, however, doesn't. It's one of the lower points of the movie. Not as bad as the main narrative, but it's still kind of eh. You have a group of idiots in the woods trying to have sex. And they get stabbed a lot, and they die. Nothing spoiled there. It is interesting. By the end of it, it's kind of like what they're fighting is interesting. That's really the highlight, but you don't like any of the characters. You even start hating some of them. So after Tuesday the 17th ends, you go back to Tape 56, which is the first story. And just like before, it's nothing too interesting, minus one jump scare. The segment after Tape 56 come back in, is one of the stronger points as well. Following Tuesday the 17th, you have a segment called The Sick Thing That Happened to Emily When She Was Younger. I'm just going to shorten that down to Emily. Okay, so you follow this girl named Emily, who's a very likable character. You care about what happens to her, and some bad things do happen to her. It's very Paranormal Activity-like in this segment. You have this girl, Emily, talking to her boyfriend over Skype, and some weird things happen over the Skype call. It's really interesting. So this is about when Tape 56 is starting to end when it comes back, and it ends up rather interestingly, as much as it can get. And then it goes into the final found footage part of that. It's called 10/31/18, Halloween of Night 18. My bad. 10/31 out of 98, which is the Halloween on 1998. And this one has a satanic cult vibe going into it, along with haunted houses. It follows a group of kids trying to go to a Halloween party, but they end up going to the wrong house. And it's very interesting. The effects in it are really nice, and it's, again, one of the higher points of the film. So I've gone through all of the plots. Just want to go over a couple of extra things, like the characters. The characters range from either really bad to slightly excellent, in my opinion. And characters like Tape 56, they're bad. Tuesday the 17th, they're bad. Amateur Nights, they're okay. There's nothing really there except for a bunch of bros trying to get laid in it, and bad stuff happens to them. Of course, it's a horror movie. Characters in Emily was good, the character in Second Honeymoon was good, and the characters in Halloween of 1998 were good. Very nice, very good characters in this movie. The audio and video effects were actually good as well. It actually got me to jump a few times, specifically in the final version, and even in Tape 56. Tape 56 had a couple of jump scares that were actually really good, I'll give it that. Albeit, it's the less entertaining part of the movie, but it still had a couple of good jump scares. Also, the twist in Second Honeymoon was good. The jump scares were great, along with the sound, which is the big thing, the big boom sound. But also the music, if there was any in general, was pretty good and helped fill the action. The effects were okay, because it was mostly just blood and gore, and then where the effects really shine was in the final one, Halloween of 1998, because they have like all the ghost effects. There's arms coming out of the wall trying to get them. There's fog. There's a bunch of good stuff in that one. So with the audio and video, it was good. It was meh to good, depending on the story. But since this is a collection of clips, I'm actually going to rate these individually. So I'm not the biggest fan of found footage. However, this movie was really good, and I felt like the anthology aspect helped that, with each story being different, and different genre, different scares, different plot. I thought it was really cool to watch. So, like, this movie, along with As Above, So Below, completely killed this in a good way, and I would definitely recommend seeing it. For Tape 56, the narrative story, I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. It's not very good. Amateur Night, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10 because I like some of the characters in it. The story was interesting enough to keep me watching. Second Honeymoon is an 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. Very good characters, very good twist, very good effects, very good plot in this anthology segment. Tuesday the 17th, I'm giving a 6 out of 10. It's a mediocre Friday the 13th ripoff. Emily, 8 out of 10. Like Second Honeymoon, good characters, good effects, a couple good scares. Halloween of 1998, 9 out of 10. Very excellent effects, very interesting setup, definitely one of the highlights of the movie. So overall, I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. VHS, made in 2012, found footage anthology film, 7 out of 10. Anyway, guys, that's my time. I hope you really enjoyed my review. I'd be glad to continue doing them. Go ahead and leave some comments down in the description. Tell me how I can improve if I can. Since this is my first technical movie review for the channel, I'd love to hear some feedback to help me improve. I'm not as good with just sitting down in front of a camera like Rob and just talking. So like I said, I actually write down my stuff and have it in front of me if I need to. Oh, I guess before I go, I should actually introduce myself some more. Like I said, my name is Ethan Carpenter. I'm new to the channel. I'm hoping to do some more reviews other than this one. Some big things I like. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. That's how I found the channel. Kaiju, Godzilla, horror movies. I'd like to expand some of the reviews I can do from horror movies. Maybe do some stuff about music if I can, possibly, if there's interest for it. But that's stuff I like. I like heavy metal music. I'd love for people to just tell me some stuff they'd like me to listen to and talk about it. But all in all, I'm really new to the reviewing thing. The review that Rob found me on was I posted to the Nation Facebook page. It was my review of The Darkness over at WASD Gamecom, and he really liked it, and that's what enabled me to be able to do this. So if you want to go and see that review, you can go ahead and click it in the description. It'll just take you to my channel. You can watch all of our videos. We're a gameplay channel. We do reviews, we do gameplays, mostly gameplays. We only have the one review right now, but I'd love to expand that. So you can check us out at WASD Gamecom. Over there, I'm called Will. It's just my alias. We all have different names over there. But you can go and check out those videos if you really want to see them. Some super funny stuff. We're doing a lot of horror-themed games coming up. Some Alien Isolation, Outlast for Halloween. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching my video. Please let me know if there's anything you'd like me to review. Thank you for tuning in to Entertainment Talk Nation, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Nation Facebook page. You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hello everybody and welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I am not Rob. You probably noticed that quite quickly. My name is Ethan Carpenter. I am relatively newer to the reviewing part of YouTube, but I've been on YouTube for a little while. I did a review on my channel, which I'm not going to plug just yet. I'll save that to the end of the video to do a little bit more of an introduction. But I did a review, and Rob seemed to like it, and so did a couple other people. So he asked if I would be interested in doing videos, which, of course, I said yes. So I'm going to stop talking right now about myself, and we're going to review a movie called VHS. So VHS is a found footage film that was made in 2012. Now, a lot of people I know, when you say found footage, they're immediately going to be turned off. And with good reason at times. Most found footage movies, at least nowadays, have been kind of fallen flat. Paranormal Activity is the big one. And another big one that came out recently was As Above, So Below, which I've also seen and was a great movie. I might do a review on that one later. But what makes VHS different than other found footage movies is that it's an anthology. You have the main narrative following some people that are breaking